No one prepares you for how lonely retirement can feel. Everyone tells you you're going to love it, you'll relax, you'll travel, you'll finally have all the time in the world. And of course, there are beautiful parts of retirement. But almost no one talks about the quiet moments, the ones that you never hear about in glossy brochures or financial retirement seminars. No meetings, no colleagues, no sense of rhythm. No one talks about the afternoons that can feel strangely long, those hours that you have between lunch and dinner where you're not quite sure what to do next, or the evenings when you get to the end of the day and you suddenly realize that you haven't spoken to anyone that really knows you in a deep way, not in a way that makes you feel seen or connected or understood. And maybe the most confusing part can be this: you can have people around you, a partner, neighbor, family and friends, and you can still feel lonely. Kind of loneliness that kind of sits in your chest, that stays with you all day. And it feels like something has changed, but you don't quite know what's happened. So why does this happen? Why is retirement something that people look forward to for decades? And why does it sometimes feel a lot more isolating than it feels freeing? And more importantly, what can you do about it? And that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Monique Rhodes. I'm a retirement strategist, and I've helped thousands of people through their retirement, optimize it so they feel grounded and full of purpose and happy in their retirement. So stay with me, because what I'm about to share is probably going to help you have the experience of retirement in a completely different way. And by the end of this video, I'll teach you a really easy and simple step that you can take so that your retirement can feel less lonely. So let's begin with something that most people don't realize until it's gone. Your work life didn't just give you a paycheck. It gave you built-in structure and built-in connection. These are two things that quietly shape your well-being every single day. So for decades, you had a rhythm. You got up, you got dressed, you walked into a world where people knew you. And you might not have noticed it, but you had dozens and dozens of micro-connections every single day. A smile from a colleague, a quick joke that you had before you went into a meeting. Someone saying to you, "Hey, how was your weekend?" Another person saying to you, "Hey, can you help me with this?" Or maybe you just shared a coffee break with someone who really understood your day because they were living a similar version of it. These interactions, they seem small, they seem almost invisible, but they play a really profound role in your emotional well-being. They make you feel part of something. They reinforce your identity. They remind you that you matter, and they give you a sense of belonging that we really appreciate when we have it. And then one day it's gone. It doesn't go slowly, it doesn't go gently. It's like overnight, it's gone. And you go from constant contact to almost none. You go from daily purpose to wide open days. You go from people depending on you to silence. For the first time in years, maybe in decades, nobody needs you to show up. No one is expecting you. No one is waiting for your ideas, your presence, your contributions. And all of a sudden, your days are stretching out wide and they're stretching out unstructured. And those micro connections that really anchored your world, suddenly they're gone. And that's the part of retirement nobody warns you about. You don't just retire from a job. You retire from a community. You retire from a role. You retire from an identity, from a routine, and from the very subtle emotional scaffolding that held your whole life together. And if you felt that shift, if you feel like something feels a little bit off, there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain and your nervous system are simply trying to adjust to the loss of all this structure and the loss of all this connection. This is not a personal failing. This is a natural response to a really big transition in your life. But let's go deeper, because there's more to this than the loss of daily interaction. Loneliness isn't just about being alone. Loneliness is really the absence of meaningful belonging. You can have a loving partner, you can have adult children, You can have neighbours and friends who wave at you and check in. You can join groups, you can go to classes, you can volunteer, and you can still feel that something's missing. Because work didn't just give you people, it gave you meaning. It gave you momentum, gave you a sense of direction. It gave you identity, and it also gave you a shared mission. You and the people around you, you were all moving towards something together. Deadlines, projects, goals, outcomes. And there's a psychological bond that forms when people are sharing in a purpose and in a mission they're working on together. And when that suddenly disappears, it leaves a bigger void than most people expect. Here's something else that we don't talk about enough. As adults, especially older adults, we were not taught how to build friendships from scratch. Children know how to do this. Teens know how to do this. Even young adults in new jobs or at college, they know how to build these kind of friendships. They see lots of opportunity for them. But by your 50s, 60s, or 70s, life shifts. Your identity becomes tied to your work, to your family, to your routines. And your social circles, they become smaller. They become more predictable. And when retirement arrives, what I see is that almost everyone looks up and realizes, don't know how to start new connections anymore. It feels awkward. I'm not good at putting myself out there. What if it doesn't go well? What if it's too much effort? If you feel this way, I want you to know that you're not alone in this. This is one of the most common emotional experiences that retirees share with me. There's no shame here. There's no weakness. There's no flaw. Just unmet human need. And here's the bigger truth. Loneliness isn't solved simply by being around people. Loneliness is solved by being in situations where the connection feels real, it feels mutually nourishing, and it feels meaningful. That's why joining a club or doing an activity doesn't naturally fix it. You might be busy, but you still feel empty. Because the cure for loneliness isn't activity, it's belonging. And belonging is created intentionally, not by accident. So, what actually works? Not forcing yourself into big social gatherings. Not pretending that everything is fine. Not filling your schedule with things that drain you. The thing that truly helps, realistically, is something that I call intentional microconnection. It's simple, it's manageable, and it meets your emotional system where it is, not where you wish it was. Intentional microconnection means this. Instead of waiting for connection to happen to you, you create small, meaningful moments of connection that you choose, just one at a time. Let me give you several practical examples. Reach out to one person, just one, in a way that feels natural and light. You might want to send them a message saying, hey, I was just thinking about you today. How are you doing? You might call someone from your past and reconnect, even just briefly. Maybe you invite a neighbor or a friend to go for a walk. Maybe get hold of someone and ask them if they want to have coffee next week. Maybe you want to check in with a former colleague and say, hey, how's life treating you these days? This is not about deep vulnerability. This is not about creating a new best friend. It's not about filling your calendar. It's about creating small, consistent touch points of human warmth. Because here's what happens. That one action creates emotional momentum. Your nervous system relaxes. Your mind, it opens. And you feel a subtle sense of connection returning. Not overwhelmingly, not all at once, but like a gentle light that's switching back on. So you don't need to rebuild your entire social community overnight. You just need one moment of meaningful contact, and then another, and then another. And over time, these micro-connections become the scaffolding of your social and emotional world. They restore a sense of belonging, not the same belonging that you had at work, but a new belonging, a more intentional one that fits this very specific time in your life. If you've been feeling alone in retirement, if you've been wondering why the stage of your life feels different from what you expected, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not failing at retirement. You're not behind. You're not unusual. You simply haven't been given a roadmap for the emotional side of retirement. People plan financially. They plan practically. They plan logistically. But almost no one plans psychologically or socially. No one teaches us how to build purpose after work. No one teaches us how to create a new identity. No one teaches us how to restore belonging. And that's why so many retirees come to me feeling this ache inside of themselves. And they wonder what's missing, especially when everything on the outside looks so good. If you want some clarity on exactly what's creating that feeling for you, I've created a free tool that can help. It's called the Retirement Roadmap Quiz. It takes just a few minutes and it shows you which parts of your retirement are thriving or which need support. Or if you haven't got to retirement yet, there's a special quiz for you as well. Whether that's identity, purpose, routine, motivation, emotional well-being, or all of the above. Most people have told me that taking the quiz helped them to feel understood, maybe for the first time, and helped them to get clarity on what's going on beneath the surface. So if you want to feel more connected, more grounded, or more fulfilled, whether or not you're retired yet, if you want to feel more like yourself again, you can take the quiz using the link below in the first comment. It's called the Retirement Roadmap Quiz, and it's a beautiful step towards a happy retirement. A retirement that feels meaningful, connected, and entirely your own. So if this was helpful, I'd love you to click subscribe and like so that I can get you in this little community here with me and we can have more conversations about how to give you the happiest retirement ever. My name's Monique Rhodes. Be kind, take care, go gently in the world.